My name's Todd Borland. I grew up right outside of Oakland, California. And from a young age, life was hard. My parents got divorced at a very young age, so my dad left very early. And then my mom went through a lot of rough times, and she was gone a lot. I was pretty much all alone at a very young age for a very long time. And I had to do a lot of things by myself that kids shouldn't have to do. And so that fostered a lot of anger. And I had friends, and I would go to church with them every once in a while, but it never did anything for me, and I never felt that God was a God that listened to you or talked to you or did things for you, because I felt that if he was real, he had abandoned me too to let me live the way I was living. So if he was real, I had anger for him. And this just fostered into a lot of just disbelief. I just didn't believe he was real. Didn't believe him at all. I had to figure a lot of things out myself. And I spent a lot of time as I got older bouncing around. I joined the military so I could get away as fast as possible and stayed in different places in California, and then eventually made my way out to Texas. And almost immediately I met my wife, Katie. And a couple years later, we had our kids, Cora and Dylan. When Katie and I got married, that was a whole life-changing happiness that I'd never felt before. It was nice to know that I had somebody that truly loved me and cared for me. And I thought she was the only one. And then we had our kids, and I thought I couldn't get any happier. We still were not going to church. We weren't a religious family. She had grown up religious, but she wasn't going to church. And then when she was pregnant with Dylan, our second child, she lost her uncle, who she was very close to. And he was very religious. And it was really hard on her. And so in her grief, she was seeking answers. So she started going to Foundry. She would ask me if I wanted to go with her. And I would tell her no, because I still was living in the God isn't real version of my life. I didn't believe in him. I didn't want to participate or anything like that. And then just one Sunday when she had left with the kids, a voice in my head was telling me, it wasn't even my own voice, it was a voice in my head was telling me, what kind of man are you? You are letting your wife take your kids to church by herself. Like, you should be with them. You should be leading them. I had an overwhelming sense of guilt that I needed to go. So the following Sunday, I started getting ready when she was getting ready and told her I was going with her, which she was very happy about. Walking in, I wasn't expecting anything. I was just going to go through the motions, make my wife happy, and then just proceed on with my life. The sermon was the prodigal son, which is so much like me and my brother, because he was the good kid growing up, but he also had a family growing up. And I was the mess up. But I just thought, this is amazing that this story is, first day I walk into church, this story is what's being told. And it just hit me hard. So at some point during the last song, and that feeling rushed over me, like an awareness of God's presence was just there. It was almost as if he was letting me know that he is there and that he does love me, which I did not believe, and then instantly I understood. That day, I had walked into church a non-believer, not expecting anything, and I walked out a believer, knowing God loved me, and it really changed who I wanted to be. Since I have given my life to Christ, God has definitely taken away a lot of my anger. He has made me a better husband. He's made me a better father. He's made me a better friend and neighbor. He's definitely putting me in the direction of the man I'm supposed to be, that he wants me to be. I'm just so grateful that I walked into Foundry that day, that God had told me that I needed to be there, because it has definitely changed me. I'm so happy that I'm growing in my faith, and I hope I continue to grow in my faith, and that I continue to lead my family so my kids will grow in his faith, and we could further disciple and spread the word and just continue to go to Foundry. I love Foundry.